whatever that is. Maria, I'm going to mute you, darling. And Lori, I'll mute you. Oh, okay. All right. So we're going to sit up nice and tall, whatever that means to you. Oops, I just lost my earphone. Close your eyes. First thing I want you to know and acknowledge is that this practice is for you. So wherever it takes you, it takes you. And if it means backing off, or if it means increasing and engaging more, do that. But let your body be your guide. Don't let your ego be your guide. So I'm actually propping my knees up on 2 blocks. If you're sitting cross-legged, bring your heels a little closer underneath your knees. And then lift your torso nice and long, crown of the head to the sky, chin parallel to the floor. What's outside? Oh, okay. If you're sitting cross-legged or on your seat at all, just lift the flesh up a little bit, rock side to side, before you settle in too much more comfortably. And just breathe. So while we sit in this, I'll call it an intention seat right now, set an intention. A thought, a sound, a mantra, an idea. And then send your hands to your heart center. Allow your chin to roll slightly towards your collarbones. Drop your shoulders down. Remind yourself of that intention, that thought, that sound. I think yesterday we did an I am. And then bring your thumbs to the space between the 2 brows and gently massage that space between your 2 eyes, and perhaps see a violet color popping up in between your 2 brows. Fold forward. Release your hands to the floor. And walk them out just to the first point of resistance, wherever that is for you, whatever that means to you. With your hips still connected to the earth and without any stress to your body or your breath. And so you can allow your belly to soften here and just kind of hang out. Relax the neck and shoulders down, and keep your eye gaze out in front of you. Spread your fingers broad and push the heel of your hands down and forward. Mine are off the mat. Yours might be off the mat as well. Doesn't really matter right now, where you're comfortable. Inhale, bring your hands down fully and lift up now just the heel of the hand, so you're on spider fingers. Lift your torso and chest and walk over to the left side, placing your hands outside of your left knee as you push your right hip towards the floor. Use the hands against the floor to push away so you can push your hip back and down towards the earth. Relax your shoulders. And inhale, rise onto your finger pads, lift your chest, walk over to the other side. Take your time, and then just make your way. You might notice one side you have more space than the other, and you won't be so different from everybody else. Push the hands down to push the hips back and towards the left side. Good. Inhale, rise up onto your fingertips, walk forward one more time. Maybe there's a little bit more space that you have to fold forward. Spread your fingers, push the heel of the hands, and push the hips back. Inhale, walk your hands back in towards your legs. Place your hands on top of your knees, and then use them as a little leverage to lift your chest up. Then bring your chin to your chest and roll backwards off your sitting bones. Scoop your belly in and out, and then come forward. A little cat-cow action in for Sukhasana. For some of you, it might be in another pose. Pull the belly into the spine, round your back. Inhale, come back up. Good, and let's do this one more time as we start to move our torso in circles. And using the hands to guide you. Push and pull, go as far back and as far forward as your body wants to go right now. And then reverse that. So for some of you, you just kind of rolled out of bed and you're stiff. For others, you've been up for hours and you've done a million activities. And so, everybody's going to be in a different place. Come back to center and release the hands down. Lift up your hips, your legs, shake them out. If you're crossed, cross the other way. If you're in any other position that requires a change of a cross, go ahead and do that. And then place your hands back on your knees, lift your heart up. So trying to shorten the angle in between the legs rather than having our legs very, very wide. See if you can have them a little bit closer. Good. Inhale, stretch the arms all the way up overhead. Gather it all the way up, bring your ribs down, tuck your tailbone underneath you, and again, find that front of the sitting bones. As the right arm comes down, lift up and over to the side. Use the hand against the floor to open up and rotate the torso. And here comes my little pup. Come on, Hal. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, come over, say hi to the people. Exhale, up and over to the left side. Spin your heart open. She's confused because her father's in the other room and she doesn't ever like to take her eyes off of him. Inhale, come back up, right arm down behind you, left arm outside your knee. Use the arm behind you to give you length, and then deepen the twist by using the left hand against the thigh. Relax the shoulders. He's still here. And then come on back to center, arms up. Good. Exhale, twist over to the other side. Lift your torso and twist. Press your shoulders down, find space in the body. And then return back to center, arms up. Exhale, give your animals a little kiss, lean back, shake out your legs, and come around onto your hands and knees. Pad anything you need to be padded with. I need a little padding these days under one knee. And then walk your hands a little bit more forward from your shoulders. And dip your belly down. So your knees are underneath the hips, but the arms are forward. We're not quite in a puppy dog just yet. With deference to mine. And then push the spine straight. So it's, I won't say it's quite parallel to the floor, but it's the line from your head to your tailbone is long. See? She's doing it. She's got it. Drop your chin, chest down, and now you're in your puppy dog. You can put your forearms on the floor, you can put your chin or your head down on the floor, whichever kind of really satisfies you. Keeping your hips elevated, take your right arm underneath the left and turn the palm up to the sky, and let the back of the head rest on the floor. Reaching your arms in different directions, left arm forward, right arm to the side, and then bringing your hips towards midline. If you like to lift a leg or anything like that, go ahead and do that, or stay where you are today, just because it's fine. Inhale back to center. Hi Cindy, good morning, chin, chest down. Take your left arm underneath your right arm, turn the back of your head towards the floor. Right arm reaches forward, left arm reaches to the side. Hugging your hips towards midline, whether you lift the right leg or not. Trying to stay square through your hips. And find a little bit more stretch in each direction. As you release the next breath, we come back to center. Arms out, chin, chest down. And then walk your hands back now underneath your shoulders. Neutral position of your spine. Step your right leg to the back of your mat. Tuck your toes. And rock and roll on the ball of the foot. Press your left top of your foot and shin down firmly in the floor, or if you feel more stable, tuck your toes underneath you. And then spin onto your right outer foot, or inner foot actually. Right hand to your hip. First just stay with your hand on your hip and your left hand on the floor, stacking your shoulders, and pressing the right pinky toe down towards the floor without rolling off onto it. So the big toe, the little toe are down on the floor. And then stretch your right arm up over your shoulder. So a modified side plank, a modified half moon, whatever you want to call it. Take the arm over the head. And And then bring the right hand behind your head, elbow points up. On the exhale, bring your elbow towards the left hand. And then inhale, lift it up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, lift up. Let's do it one more time. Seems like 3 times is a charm. Right arm comes up, rotate your torso. Reach the right arm up. Reach the right leg off the floor. Flex the foot. Keep it long. So don't lift it higher than your hip. Use your arm on the ground to help rotate the torso. And then bend the right knee first without holding on. So keep the heel and the knee in line with the hip and the heel in line with the knee. And then if you have the space, reach back for your foot. Start first by kicking the heel to the buttocks and opening up your shoulder. And if you'd like to stay there, stay there. It's more of a quad stretch. Or if you want to add a little bit of a back bend, extend the leg away from you. Take another breath. Hold on to your ankle. Bring your knee towards your chest. Spin your back foot forward and take your right foot in between your 2 hands. So now you're in a low lunge. You can tuck your back toes underneath a little bit, lift up the knee, and just get a little hinge forward. So make sure your right knee is over the ankle, and of course if you have blocks, use the blocks to help support you, to give you a little bit more lift through your torso, so we're not dumping on our leg. Pull your shoulders back, collarbones broaden. Take a breath. We take our time in the beginning of class, right? We've got to kind of give our bodies a chance to settle into this. Straighten your front leg and move your hips back, toes up or down, your choice. Pull the right hip back, left hip forward, and if you have blocks, you can move them further back and higher up if you'd like. Inhale for length and exhale, fold over your right shin. Pull the right hip back, left hip forward. And then if you like, you can stretch the arms further out in front of you again. See where your body wants to take it today. You know, I try not to have any preconceived notions. I have an idea of where we're going in the class, but I don't know where my body is going to actually go. So I'm open to suggestions from it as to how to make it more palatable. Come back as you rebend the front knee. If you moved your blocks, move them back. Good. Press your hip down. Tuck your left toes under. Lift your knee up. Keep your hips low for now. Nice lunge. And then step your right leg back through downward facing dog, hips up in the air. In your downward dog, walk your dog out. Shift your weight from one side to the other, hand to foot, foot to hand, right to left, left to back, right, front to back. So you should look like an upside down letter V. Shouldn't be too wide or too close. Feel the energy under the arms as they wrap around the shoulders. Lift high up on your tippy toes on both legs. Pull the knees up. Keep that engagement in the quadricep muscles. Pull the pelvic floor muscles up. Bring your chin slightly to your collarbone as you shift forward into a high plank position. Pushing the earth away, doming slightly in the upper back. Knees are lifted. Keep your eye gaze steady. Breathe in. And then lower just the right knee to the floor. Take the left toes behind you. Good. Spin onto your right hand and right knee as you turn to the left side of your mat. Bring your left hand to your hip. And then push down through the right arm to spin your torso up. Pressing both sides of the left foot onto the floor. And then take your left arm up. Maybe bring the arm over the head, again spinning the torso up as you now float the left leg off the floor. Only hip height, could be lower. Try not to be too much higher. And then just without using your arm, bend your left knee, kick your heel to your buttocks. And then bring the arm up and see if you want to grab a hold of the foot. Ooh, and I got a nice hamstring cramp. So if that happens, just release it, wait till your cramp passes. Heel pushes into your buttocks as you open up your chest. So stay there or begin to kick the foot a little bit further away, creating a little bit more of that back bending position. Push your hips forward. Hold on to your left ankle, look down towards your right hand, and we're going to spin everything back around to the front of the mat. Adjust your back knee as needed. Hands on the floor blocks. Lift your chest up. Sink your weight back out of your right knee or away from your right knee. Good. Perfect. Hug hips to the center. Good. Now you can straighten your front leg as much or as little as it'll go. Toes up or down, your choice. Left hip moves back, right hip moves forward, or level out the hips. Move your blocks back if you'd like. Any variations are welcome here for a couple more breaths. The hamstring that just cramped up is now getting hopefully a little relief. Breathe in long and exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Maybe walk your hands out even further. It just changes the action a little bit. So see what works best for you. Rebend your front knee. Return your blocks to the front, hands on them or the floor. Tuck your back toes underneath you. Lift just the knee up, keep the hip low. Hug your hips towards the midline. Inhale. And exhale. Oh, I know I left something out, so I'll get there in a little bit. Downward facing dog, left leg steps back. Good. Breathe in, breathe out. You wouldn't want your obliques to be uneven. Shift forward to a high plank. Pause in the plank. Push the earth away, round and dome your shoulders. Lower your right knee again. Take your left foot on its side. Take your left hand behind your head. Give me 3 little elbow touches to the floor. Twisting, opening 2. And 1. I could have made you think that I was just going to do this a different way. And then return your left hand down, step back into downward facing dog. Because I changed the choreography. Soften your knees and walk your hands back to your feet, back of your mat. Keep your feet hips width or wider. Place your fingertips on the floor, shins or blocks in front of you. So there's a little bit more weight shifting forward into the balls of your feet rather than your heels. And then fold yourself in half, wherever happens to you, and let your head rest towards your shins. Now, don't think I'm being rude or anything, but put your hands on each butt cheek. While your hands are on the butt cheeks, pull the butt cheek skin up, so like we're sitting on the floor, and when you do this on the floor, we don't think much of it, but when we're in a folded position, it seems a little bit weird, and perhaps obscene, but it's not. It's your body, it's your skin. So roll the sitting bones up as you start to hinge yourself forward. Then release your arms and just let them dangle. So you have that forward fold. You have a little bit of that weight bearing forward. And then maybe some of you will straighten your legs a little bit more. And then grab opposite elbows. So hinging your torso forward, your head comes down, shake out your head, yes and no. Big toe, little toe, ball of the foot presses down to the earth. Switch the cross of the arms. And bring your chin towards your chest. Weight shifts forward, heavy. And then release the arms to dangle. Place your hands on your hips. Elbows point towards each other. Now lengthen your spine halfway up and rise all the way up to standing. Release your hands down, walk your feet together, and just stand in Tadasana at the back of your mat. Just standing in Tadasana at the back of your mat, finding length, energy, rising from the earth all the way through your legs. Reach your arms down, roll your shoulders back and around, press the big toe down so you feel some action of stabilizing the whole leg, the whole foot. Pinky toe down, ball of foot, heel of the foot. Without the knees pulling backwards, lift the knees up towards your hips. Let your tailbone turn towards the floor. Pelvis is stable, chin parallel to the floor, crown of the head to the sky. Shoulders open up. Anatomical position. Press the outer edges of your pinky toes towards the outer edges of your mat. Shift your arms overhead. Grab opposite elbows again. Inhale, lift out of your waistline. Keep space between your ears and shoulders. And exhale, lean up and over to your right side. Slide your hands apart and place them on either side of your head. Bend your knees and take your right elbow to your left knee. And then come to neutral, center. Let's do that again. Right elbow, left knee. Come to neutral, center. Right elbow, left knee. Neutral, center. Rise up to stand. Inhale, release your arms, roll your shoulders. Exhale. Inhale the arms up, switch the cross of the arms. You'll know it, it's the less familiar place. Lean over to your left side. Release your hands behind your head. Come down, left elbow to right knee. Then come back to neutral, so you're in a chair pose. Exhale, left elbow to right knee. Neutral chair, left elbow, right knee. Neutral chair, press down to rise up. Release your arms behind your back, interlace your fingers, palms together, knuckles down. Squeeze your elbows together, lift your heart up. Lift out of your waistline, pretend that there's a string to your sternum lifting up and backwards. It's cliche, but it works. And then send it forward, arms come away from the back. Maybe you use a strap or towel to give your arms a little bit more space. Breathe in and out. Shake out your head, yes and no. And then release the hands to the earth. In front of your feet, lengthen your spine. Start to walk. Keep the weight in your heels as you walk your hands forward. So keep shifting weight back now in downward dog. So in downward dog, the weight goes to the heels. In forward fold, the weight goes towards the front of the foot. Let's measure it out. Come to your high plank. Always, if you have to move, move your legs. Good. Lower both knees to the floor. Lay your chest and belly on the floor. Feet closer or wider together apart. Elbows squeeze in, low cobra. Low cobra, your hips are on the floor, your chest lifts, but your arms are not really doing all the work. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good. Push the top of the foot, shin down. Lift your knees up, not your feet. Exhale, we're in cobra look, and let it go. Sit on your heels and tuck your toes. Lift your knees up off the floor. Rise up high in your tippy toes. Bend your knees and look towards your hands. Take little steps now to walk your feet to the top of your mat. Separate your feet 2 fists apart and hang your body over. So again, now the weight shifts forward into the balls of the feet as opposed to the heels. Let go of the tension in your neck, shoulders. And one more time, we'll ragdoll to come up to standing. Stretch the arms over your head. Take the prayer to your heart center. Bring your feet closer together. Release your arms down by your side. Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. Bring your arms up overhead. Touch your palms, look it with your eyes. Exhale, fold down, hands to floor, shins or blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back, step your left foot back. Hold your plank, take a breath. Choose to go to your knees or shift forward and bend the elbows halfway. Roll over your toes. Upward dog or stay on your low belly cobra. Downward dog. So pause each step of the way. Don't anticipate what's coming next because who knows what I might throw at you. Right? So we have to be present enough to hear what's coming our way. Inhale on your toes. Step 1 foot forward, then the other. Halfway lift when you get there. Exhale, fold. Inhale, ride your breath to stand all the way up. Take the prayer to your heart center. Exhale. Release your arms. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Touch your palms. Exhale, fold hands to floor, shins, blocks. Inhale, look forward. Step the opposite leg back. High plank, pause. Bend your elbows, bend your knees if you'd like. Come down. You can add push-ups. You can skip them all together. Meet in downward facing dog. Hips in the air. Couple of breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Good. Looking forward, high on your toes. Take the opposite leg forward first. Halfway lift when you get there. Exhale. So if you're stepping, step with opposition legs. Inhale, rise up to stand. Bring your hands to your heart. Exhale, hands down, arm by your side. One more time, Surya Namaskar A. Bring the arms up. By the way, we're doing 108 sun salutations in about I don't know, a week and a half, halfway lift, actually 2 weeks from yesterday. So this is practice. Exhale, step, step to high plank, lower halfway down, inhale, upward dog. 108 of these, happens a lot easier than you would think. Downward dog. I hope you can join us. If you're interested, I will give you all information. Breathe in, breathe out. Bring your feet a little closer together. Rise up onto your toes. Shift your body weight forward. Choose to lower the right knee or stay up and spin onto your right side. Side plank pose. Breathe. Good. Left arm overhead. Left arm bends behind your head. We're not going to stretch it down until we come back to the center. So take a breath and then turn your body all the way down. Feet together. Other side. Oh, Karen, here for you. Right arm up. Right arm overhead. Right hand behind the head. Just open, work at opening up the shoulder chest and understand that movement. Then as we come down, take the hand down. Just shift into an up dog. And then a down dog. Good. Bring your feet together. Float your right leg high in the sky. Now, lower your left heel and lower your right heel so your hips are square. Right heel pushes back. Weight shifts from your hands to your feet. Bring your right knee to your chest, round and curl. Shift forward to plank, round and curl. Look between your hands, step your right foot all the way through. Spin your back foot on its side. Have your blocks nearby. Inhale, open up to warrior two, facing the left side of your mat. Pump your warriors one time. Bring the hands through heart center, and 2 more times. Lift up. Bend in. 1 more time. Hold warrior two. So while we sit in warrior two, we work on shoulders over hips. So pull the left arm back a little further. We work on opening our outer hips while squeezing inner thighs inward. So there's a lot of action going on in the legs. Going outside, okay. Breathe. Good. Turn your palms up to the sky. Reverse this. Lift out of your waistline. Put your left hand on your left hip. Guide it towards your right knee. And then release it wherever you want it to be. Good. Inhale back to warrior two. Straighten your front leg and turn your toes so both feet are turned towards the left side of your mat. Hands on your hips. Elbows pull back. Inhale. Good. Exhale, come halfway down. Now, look at yourself if you can in your camera mirrors. Make sure your knees do not press behind your hips, but now send the weight, forward again. Hands behind your head. You know where we're going now. Elbow towards the right elbow towards the left knee. Probably not going to touch. Come back to center. Left elbow towards right knee. Try to do this without shifting your hips, so you might not get as much twist. Good. So not just the elbow, but the torso turns. Come back to center, so get that motion, because this is one of the most important motions that we do in our practice. Come back to center. Hands back to your hips. Forward fold. Release the hands to the floor. Send your weight towards the balls of your feet. Hang down. Shake it at yes and no. Inhale to center. Lengthen your spine. Walk to your right leg. Turn your back hip forward. Left hand on the floor or block. Left knee can be on the floor. Right hand to your hip. So that rotation we just did in our forward fold, get it here, and then bring the right arm up over the shoulders. Hug your hips to midline. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale. Good. Right hand down. Right leg straightens. Breathe. Keep trying, Laura. Keep it going, girl. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Breathe in, out. Shift forward, bend the front knee. Lower your back knee. Keep it off of the knee, so get a nice long space behind you. Bend your knee, kick your heel towards your buttocks. Reach your right arm around if you want to reach for the foot, go for it. And then the left arm, you can decide to be up or down on your forearms, arm out in front of you. Keep hugging your hip in if this is not going to work for you. Don't worry if you can't reach it. It's just a nice long quad stretch, open shoulder stretch. One more breath, everybody. Kick into your hand. Let it go. Downward facing dog with the right leg in the air. This one all the way up and bend the knee, open the hip. But the shoulders stay square. Flex and point, move the ankle. And square your hips to downward dog. If you'd like to take a Vinyasa Sequence here, come forward to high plank. Exhale halfway down. Upward dog. And that can all be modified, or you can stay in dog and never even think twice about it. Feet together back of the mat, lift up onto your toes. Left leg high in the sky. Then lower the right heel and square the left hip off. So we're hugging the right hip to the midline, flex the foot. Then bring your knee to your chest in dog first. And then shift forward into plank. Look forward, step your left foot through. Turn your right foot on its side, and windmill the arms open to warrior two, facing the right side of your mat. Pump it 3 times. Arms up, hands return through prayer. 2 more times. Don't worry where you are exactly right now, because we're going to work on getting it into the right spaces. As you exhale, now we hold. Pull back with your right arm. I'm going to sneeze, everybody, excuse me. I mean, in 40 some odd years, I can count the number of times I've sneezed in a class on one hand. Pull your right hand back. Your left knee is over the ankle in line with the second, third toe, in line with your hip. And the outer hips move outward while the inner hips pull inward, or the inner heels. So it's a very strong posture. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Inhale, flip your palms and release the right arm down, left arm up. Take your right hand to your right hip, guide it towards your left knee, lift up and out of your waistline. You can do any other pose with your arms or mudra with your hands while you stay in your reverse pose. One more breath. Good. Inhale back to warrior two. Straighten the left leg. Turn to the right side. Hands on your hips. Good. Come halfway down. Halfway. And again, don't let the knees go behind your hips. Put the weight forward. Bring your hands behind your head. We're going to twist one more time. Left to right, right to left. Keeping the hips steady. Back to center. Left to right, right to left. And again, check out your knee positioning. I don't want it to go behind your hips. So let this be a lot of core work through the center. And if you've done 3 times, we meet in the center. Breathe in, hands to your hips. And then forward fold all the way down to the floor. Release your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Look to your left side. Turn yourself forward. Right toes, left toes. Right hand on the floor blocks. Left hand to your hip. Rotate to the left side. And then float the left arm up. Stack your shoulders. So bring your torso away from your thigh. Keep lengthening from thigh to, or from tailbone to head to tailbone. Work your shoulders on top of each other. Take 2 more breaths. Good. Exhale. 1 more breath. Release your left hand, right knee to the floor. Shift your weight forward. Release your back foot. Good. And then just find the strength in first the hamstrings just by kicking your right heel to your left butt, to your butt. And then choose to take the left hand or not, grab a hold of the foot. It may reach, it may not. You might have a strap or towel that you'd like to use. or just use the strength of the hamstring. Work the right arm forward, maybe it's on the floor block. You know, you have a lot of choices. Good one, Ellen. I see you putting it on. Yeah, there you go. That's it. Strap around the foot. Great pose. Take another breath. Good. Yeah, so we play with all our toys in the sandbox together. We keep them nearby. If you're holding on, release it. Tuck the back toes underneath you. And now find a three-legged dog with your left leg in the air as you open the left hip. Kick it in and out a couple times. And then square your body off, downward facing dog. Inhale. Choose to stay here or flow through Chaturanga, Urdhva Mukha, and Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathe in, breathe out. Bringing your feet closer together. Inhale, float your right leg high in the sky. Exhale, lower it halfway down. Knee to chest, knee to ground and curl. Step it through. Warrior two, facing your left side. Exhale, reverse the warrior. Good, let's take it to a side angle on the inside. Right hand inside or on block or on your thigh. Left arm comes up. Breathe. Good, so stack your shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Choose to take your left arm behind your back. Some of you will grab the inside of your right thigh. And some of you have a full bind. So the full bind, I will tell you. If your left shoulder goes down in that full bind and your hips stick out, release the bottom arm. So keep working that rotation that we did in our twists, right? Coming back to that openness. If you have a full bind, slowly release the bottom arm to your ankle or your foot. Look down at your right toes. Take your right hand in front. You're still bound on your left arm. Right hand in front or to the side as you find yourself in a bound half moon pose. Pushing your right hip in, left leg lengthens out of your waistline. So for some of you, this is more than enough. For others, you might want to bend the top leg. And some of you will release your left arm to the sky. And some of you might catch a hold of your left ankle and push it towards your hip. But again, your heel, your knee stays level. It's a really challenging pose. Good, Maria. If you've got the bind, nice. Karen, Cindy, yeah, good job, guys. Inhale. Now, if you do have that bind, release it, and everybody find yourself in the full pose, half moon. Hug your hip into the center. Look down at your right toes, bend the knee, and let's gently make our way back to warrior two. Good. Inhale, straighten your front leg, turn it to the left, hands behind your back, adjust your footing, lift your chest up, and fold in half. Send the weight forward and into the balls of your feet. Let your head go, shake it out, yes and no. Just breathe. Good. Release your hands under your shoulders. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk to your right leg, hands on either side. Turn everything forward. Right arm opens up, twist. Right hand comes down. Send your left foot a little bit closer to your right leg as you straighten both legs. Use your blocks. Inhale. And exhale, only if you want to, need to. I mean, I like to, and sometimes I don't need to, but I really like the way it feels. It gives me space. Take another breath. We're not staying here too long. Shift your weight into your right leg. Lift your left leg up and bend your left knee. Hug your right hip into the center. Kick your left foot to the ceiling. Some of you will reach around with one. Maybe both arms, not legs, both arms. And see which arm feels better, right? More open hip, more closed hip. I could tell you what I prefer. Those of you who know me probably know. Step it back in one breath. Release it all the way back to lunge. Right leg in the air, three-legged. Bend your right knee. Keep your squared shoulders. If you want to flip your dog here, follow your right foot to the floor to the side and lift up into a dancer's bridge or a full bridge wheel. Inhale. Good. Hand down, leg up. Downward dog, floor on the floor. Choose your way to stay in dog or take a flow. They're both right? They're both good. Feet together. Inhale, left leg up. Then lower the heel and square the hips. Toes down. Knee to chest, round curl. And step it all the way through. Pivot the right foot. Warrior two. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Good. Exhale, come back to center. Reach forward now. We're going to come into a side angle with our hand on the inside of our block or resting on your thigh. Right arm comes up first and then we place it on our hip. Open up your torso. Same thing we've been doing, this little twisting action on the opening. Right arm comes behind you. Start with that. Some of you will grab the inside of your thigh. Some of you are just going to get to, the back body. Strap or no strap. If you use a full bind, if you take a full bind, when you clasp your hands, make sure your right shoulder is all the way open. So that it's not pointing towards the floor. Good. Now rotate your torso, Ellen, so that your left shoulder goes under your right and you're stacked. And it takes a lot of time and work, so don't rush it. If you have a full bind, just release the bottom arm. Keep the back on the right arm around your thigh or wherever you're holding it. Look down at your left foot and start to slowly bring yourself up into a half moon balance. Right leg in the air. So it's a bound. We're going to double bind it actually, but it's a bound half moon, bound with the arm. Good. Then you choose to stay here, or some of you will bend your top leg, heel towards the buttocks. So the action of the body doesn't change. The movement of the body doesn't change, just the bending of the knee. Now you're either going to stay here or release your right arm up, or some of you will have your right hand grab a hold of your right foot, ankle, keeping your hips level. Good. Nice, Maria, you got it. So sometimes we get it on one side and not on the other. Very nice, guys. I think Lori has it. It's hard to see some of you if you have it or not. Awesome job, everybody. Stay for another breath. If you are bound with your foot, gently release it, and everybody find yourself in your true half moon. Inhale. And now exhale. Bend your left knee. And gently step back, find warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Turn everything to face the right side of your room. Interlace your fingers the other way, knuckles down, heart lifts. And then forward fold and come down. Send your weight forward into the balls of your feet. Shake out your head, yes, no. One more breath. Release your hands to the floor. Lengthen your spine. Walk around to the front of your mat. Right hand down, left arm opens up, twist. Good. Exhale. Left hand down, step forward. 1 or 2 feet perhaps, maybe less. Square your shoulders, hips. Find yourself in, just for a moment, in pyramid. Blocks are always accessible. Lengthen your spine, inhale. Shift your weight to your left leg, and lift your right leg up. Start with just a nice square hip, and then bend the knee. And then lift the heel towards the butt or towards the sky. And then some of you might want to grab here. 1, 2, either or hands, right? See where you want to be. And I know you're saying, well, I don't want to be in any of those. Good. Nice job, gang. Stay with it, stay with it. It's not easy. If it was easy, we wouldn't have to do this, right? Now, if you're holding on, gently let go. Step all the way back to a low lunge. And then take your left leg in the air, three-legged. Open your hip. Flex and point, roll through the ankle. And some of you like to flip your dog here. Follow your left foot over to the right side. And lift your heart up. Keep pulling that right hip up. Breathe in. And then exhale, return, left leg in the air, three-legged. Downward dog, stay or flow. You choose. You know, we have choices. We chose to come to class, but we can choose to sit on our mat this whole class. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. Shift forward, high plank. Just changing my mat position. And then lower your hips to the floor. Push back. Find a child's pose. Good. Begin to walk yourself back up to sitting on your heels. And then you can swing yourself around either to the long side or stay facing forward. I'll just face the long side because I have changed my mat position. And I'm going to come into a straddle. And your straddle can be wide or not wide. It doesn't have to be wide. I don't really care if you have a split or not. Make sure though, when you have one hand in front, one hand behind, that you can keep your spine long. So if it means bringing your legs in closer, bending your knees, do that, right? So sit in front of your sitting bones. So we did this a couple times in the beginning of class, right? We lifted our flesh up from a standing and a seated position. Now, if you can, if you need to, you put one hand behind you. If you can, bring both hands in front. Then turn your toes up to the ceiling and out to the back without changing your torso. Good. Now, if you can, reach your arms out and bring your hands behind your head. Good. Elbows out to the side. So a lot of times, this is going to take us into what I call Shlombasana. So I want you to shift forward or bend your knees and bring them in closer. Take a breath, and now reach the right elbow behind the right knee. Left hip stays on the floor, the toes, both legs, toes are up and back. Inhale to center, exhale to the left side. So more oblique work, just in a little different way. Come back to center. Let's do 2 more times on each side. Right, inhale, exhale left. Inhale, one more time right. Inhale, one more time left. Inhale, lift up. Good. Keep the arms where they are. Rotate just the torso. Come back to center. Exhale to the left side. Good. So know that your torso, unless you move your hips, you're not going to get that far. Turn to the left. Some of you will, some of you won't. Let's do it one more time. Let's stay on the right side this time. Release your hands on the right side of your right leg, or on either side of your right leg. And then begin to walk your torso over your thigh. Keep your torso long. So we kind of really didn't do pyramid pose. We kind of transitioned from it to another pose. So think about the length in your spine in that pyramid pose. So we're facing the right leg. And so. Good. Then we're going to walk through center over to the left side. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Relax your shoulders. Press your right hip down to the floor. Inhale. Walk your hands to the center. Stay in the center. Keep your torso long. If you can fold with your torso long, great. If you have to round your back to get your head to the floor, don't bother doing it. Just stay here and breathe. Work a little bit further when you can, or stay where you are. You know, the advanced student is the one who knows when to move and when not to move, and when to get into child's pose. So getting your chest to the floor doesn't really make a difference. Take another breath. Walk your hands back in. Bend your knees and shake out your legs. Good. If you're facing the long side of your mat, turn back to face the short side of your mat. Shift forward enough that when you come down on the floor, your head will be supported on your mat. Take your legs in line or your feet in line with your hips. Hold on underneath your knees and lift yourself up into that nice tall position, again in front of your sitting bones. Then bring your chin to your chest and pull your belly to your spine and round your back. No shoulders to ears, just pull the belly in. And then release your arms in front of you as if you were holding a block, or maybe you are holding a block. And then we're going to roll down one vertebrae at a time. Now you've got to get the tailbone down. And then you go to the lowest part of your spine. So there's a C curve here. Middle waistline, or middle back, then waistline. And then you come down. Keep your head and shoulders off the floor. Bring your hands behind your head. Walk your feet in underneath your hips. And then lift your knees 90 degrees at your hips, 90 degrees at your knee. One more time for rotation. Right arm down, left arm to outside of right knee. Inhale back to center. Exhale, other side. We've got two more of these. Inhale to center. Exhale. And you think, why do we have to do so much core work? Well, we don't. We do a lot of core work in our yoga practice, but these movements come in handy in our practice, in our triangles, in our side bends, in our warriors. And come back to center one more time to the other side. And come back all the way to the center. Lift your legs in the air. Hands are behind your head. Pull your belly in. Now reach your hands to your feet. Perhaps lift your hips up off the floor. Shoulders off the floor for 3, 2, and 1. Hug your head. Hug your head. Hug your head down to the floor. Hug your knees to your chest. Open your arms out to a T. Palms open up for this one. Shift your hips right. Let your knees fall to the left. Maybe you can bring your legs together through center. Shift your hips left, let your knees fall right. Twist. Inhale back to center. Hug your knees all the way to your chest. Good. Bring your hands on top of your shins, ankles, and place your feet on the floor, still holding on if you can. If you don't have the space, then let your hands just graze your heels. So as I hold on here, I'll move my arms so you can see there's an arch in my back. Now I want to take that arch and tilt my pelvis the other way so I have an imprinted spine. So everything is on the floor. The lowest part of my buttocks is off. If you can hold on, hold on. If not, scoop out your belly and lift just your tush off the floor. Your back is still down. Stay firm through your legs. Pull your heels in towards your buttocks and your knees away from you. And then start to peel your spine up one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders are down on the floor. And either hold on to your heels, or maybe you take your arms underneath your back. Maybe you support your hands under your buttocks, or you have a block that you'd like to be supported in a more restorative bridge pose. Release your hands, upper mid, lower back to the floor. Let your knees turn in towards each other. Rest your hand, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Release your arms, turn your knees forward one more time. Take yourself into a bridge. Some of you may want to take it into a full wheel or any other variations that you have. And of course, supported is one of those variations. So variations don't ever have to be hard or more challenging. They could be the more modified version of the pose. So please take what your body needs for right now. And if you're up in a wheel or anything else, top of the head, upper mid, lower back to the floor, hug your knees into your chest. Let's take a happy baby, open up the legs a little wider, open up your pelvis, breathe. Rock it a little side to side. Spread across the bottom side of your back, the lowest part of your back. Then gently let go of your feet and hug your knees back to your chest. Find your tightest ball as you round yourself all the way in. Really scoop out your belly. Take a breath here, pause. And then let everything go. It's like a shot with a catapult all the way out to the floor, arms and legs out. And then let it go. Relax it. Release. I don't know what Siri just did. Release your arms down by your side. Let your hips open up. Slow down your breathing. Let go of everything. Scan your body from head to toe, toe to head. Notice if there's any tension that remains in your body, and just direct your breath to those spaces of tension. Let go. Give your body permission to completely surrender, to let go. And imagine you're floating like the clouds, and your thoughts are like the clouds. They take shape for a moment and then they disperse and they change. So let your thoughts be floating. Don't have conversation with them. Don't connect to them or ask anything of them. Let go. If you have the opportunity to stay longer, just shut down your screen, turn your volume down, or begin to make your way back. Begin to make small movements through your fingers and toes. Then gently drawing your knees back to your chest. release your arms to the side or your legs to the side. Find a side to rest in, fetal pose. And when you're ready, make your way to a comfortable seat. Just close your eyes and bring your hands to your heart. Slightly tucking the chin, finding that space, that peace. And taking that and carrying it with you today, throughout your day. Share it. And it will bow down to each other. Namaste. For those of you at home, stay fit, stay healthy.